Hello, my name is James Austin, and I'm happy to be here today with my colleague John Gelms to talk to you about Robertson Building Systems and the mining industry. I've been in construction and industrial sales for over 20 years now, and I've been with Robertson for over 6 years. And Robertson has been in business for over 150 years, working in the pre-eng market. John?
Thank you, James. You've certainly been a great member to our team as well. But Robertson has been around for many years, of course, and I'm very privileged to be around for those years as well. 21, 22 years for myself. Done a bunch of different responsibilities, including the engineering department and field services, and of course now district manager as well. So thank you for welcoming me to this webinar.
And just to remind our viewers, today we're focusing on the mining industry, but Robertson also is into a lot of other market segments. So we're focusing also on recreational, we're in heavy industrial, warehousing, office, government, schools, we're doing hangars. There's a lot of growth facilities. There's quite a few other market segments that pre-engineered buildings are really designed for. Mining obviously is a key focus for us, but there's a lot of other opportunities. So if there are further questions or inquiries you need, please reach out to us because we can definitely support you in those other market segments as well. So today we're going to basically go through the ins and outs of Robertson and how we work in the mining industry, which has been a huge increase in market share for our company over the last few years as mining has become extremely proficient in Canada. Our first focus is going to be really on the critical considerations for complex mining projects. The introduction, I think the best place to start is going to be laying the groundwork and really what it means to be in this market. Projects in mining aren't like other jobs. There's extreme environments, there's remote locations, tight specifications, and stringent building requirements. These create unforeseen challenges and really make it a difficult market to play in. Most important thing is you really have to do it right. If you're going to get in it, you've got to be organized and you have to partner with the right people. There's a lot at stake. Everything must be done on time and executed properly. Otherwise, you're going to have delays and issues, and it creates a whole different world of problems. It's vital to ensure that any project in the mining industry is complete with detailed planning. This is the only way to really ensure your success and be successful in this market. Our history, which I touched on at the beginning, is a long heritage. Robertson has been a leader in Canada's construction industry and pre-eng market all the way back to 1863. In recent years, we've worked on numerous complex mining projects. John's been involved with a lot of them. He covers Northern Ontario, which is a hotbed for this. As a result, we've garnished extensive expertise and best practices. We've been in it a while. You really have to learn how to succeed, what works well, what doesn't work well. And Robertson's really done that. And as John mentioned, our sales individuals all have backgrounds in engineering, drafting, detailing, field services. So they really understand the business and how the buildings go together, which really helps in this market.
Yeah, and to add to that, some of our builders really have a lot of experience in that field as well. So, the partnership that we have with some of the builders that we do have is just fantastic.
And we only partner with dealers, so we don't sell to the public. We go directly through builders, and like John mentioned, they have to be versed in this market as well in order to succeed as a partner. We're interested in sharing our experience to help our current builders and obviously new builders, individuals who may be trying to get into this market and looking for the correct builder. Now I think it's time we need to break down some of the fundamental considerations when approaching any new mining building project. You've got to focus on your logistics, as I mentioned before, your planning and your critical deadlines, which I know, John, you know all about. Again, I know I'm going to beat it to a dead horse, but planning is everything in this industry. Whether starting from scratch or building additional facilities, planning is critical. A new metal building is only one aspect of the larger project. It only makes up a small aspect. When you think of a mining area, the buildings are only a small component. They've got all the machinery, they've got the mine itself. There's a lot to go into this. In some cases, a metal building is one of the first things that is erected at a mining or refinery site, which is generally the truth, because you've got to put up the building in order to be able to start, getting the groundwork done in the area. So we're usually there pretty much first, right? We're there trying to organize everything, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it takes a lot of manpower as well in order to get the site ready so that they can accept our building as well when it does come on a job site.
If there's a delay, you can expect challenges and further delays that seem to kind of pile up. It's like a domino effect. And this is something that we're managing all the time. We have project managers, we have scheduling, so for us, the schedule is extremely important, and even more so for the builder, because a lot of times the builders are going to be in charge of the whole project, not just the pre-eng building.
Absolutely.
So if, for instance, the building is delayed, then that puts everything off and it creates a big problem. Mining schedules are extremely tight, and prolonged delays are not acceptable. And anyway, if you're in that industry, you're very familiar with this. Finding the right partner. We kind of alluded to having the right builders. For us, this is key. As we mentioned, we don't sell to the general public. We go through a builder network, a dealer, and then the builders will deal with the end customer themselves. So before starting a project, you need to ensure that you have the right partners in place. Those who can make the right specifications, they can work on their budgets, and they can work on the timelines. And they have to be realistic. It has to all work in sync. Otherwise, we're going to have issues. There's a lot at stake. Mining companies can't afford to take chances with unproven operators. So if there is a delay, obviously, it's going to cause issues, as I mentioned. So really making sure at the forefront, you've got the right builder that's going to support you, and they have the right trades and the right suppliers to support the project from beginning to end. Don't leave anything to chance, and again, don't pick the wrong partner. Moving forward into the future, future-focused designs, you have to consider quite a few things. Capacity needs and strategic priorities may shift as the mining site evolves. Things are constantly changing in construction, right, John?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
When you start a project, does it ever really start the way does it ever, I should say, finish the way it was meant to start?
No, and that's because most of these projects are design build in a sense too, right? So there are a lot of changes that will happen through the process of not just the upfront work, but also during the design process as well.
Right. One main thing you want to look at is open concept for metal buildings. This is why metal buildings is so sought after for the mining industry. They're perfect in this regard because they're uniquely adaptable, as you were just mentioning. Design flexibility and scalability will allow for the ease of implementation and change. You can bring all your heavy machinery in with the clear span that we can create with these types of buildings really works well for the industry. Again, a big highlight here is true flexibility. Increased capacity can be achieved by removing an end wall, allowing for more building space with additional frames and walls, and roof panels can be adjusted to size.
Yeah, and certainly the design flexibility as well. I mean, there's lots of different loads, piping loads, thrust loads, there's different cranes, there's different capacities required as well for these type of buildings too, right? So all these buildings are very much a custom designed building where, Robertson and their team were very well suited in order to provide that.
Basically, this is our wheelhouse. So extreme durability. We're talking, predominantly the Canadian market. So we know we get harsh winters and we get hot summers. So this plays into the effect as well. So surviving this, as we mentioned, the Canadian region is no joke. Buildings have to withstand minus 40 plus, and they've got to exceed plus 30 in the summer. So you're getting hot and cold temperatures. There's also the need to deal with, the ice, the rain, snow, pests, debris. All of these come into become factors when you're deciding what type of building you want to put up in this area. Corrosive environments also set them apart from other building projects. Protecting steel, you can use hot dip galvanizing or epoxy painting. These are some of the opportunities you can put in to safeguard your building and fight against corrosive environments. At the end of the day, metal is a perfectly ideal solution for what you're looking for in the mining industry. Metal is a sound choice, and it's durable, and it's designed for the construction needs. It also reduces maintenance costs over the lifespan of the building. It lasts longer. It's that simple. And again, I know you don't want to hear this, but it's true. You don't want to buy the cheapest option all the time because this is something you're going to need for the longevity of the time of the mine. Performance-proven material qualities stand the test of time, and steel is one of those products, right?
Yeah. So just to go back to your comment about the cheapest option, for instance, look at it as a chain. If we have a steel chain, there's many different links. If there's a weak link in the chain itself, that's I think that's where you bring up as well. The cheapest option may actually be the weak link.
Again, because if you miss a timeline or something fails, it's a lot more costly to cover that than it is to save a few dollars up front on something.
Yes.
That's really where, again, we go back to that whole timeline and schedule.
Yeah.
You want something that's tried, true, and tested, right? And again, Robertson Metal Buildings are designed to thrive on Canada's mining frontier. It's a Canadian company. It's been here for over 150 years, and this is where we've come to play. So I can pass it over to John at this point. We're going to get a little more technical now, talk about some cost efficiencies and some case studies. And
Yeah, thank you, James.
Cover those.
Thanks for handing me the reins here. Cost efficiencies is certainly something that we want to talk about as well, and certainly applicable to every job that is being planned as well. So along with cost efficiencies, there's also the viability of the steel too. With long-term savings in mind, of course, steel is the best solution for the client, and these are significant steps that the client has been taken. Steel roof panels, for instance, with insulated panels, conserve energy while reducing operating and maintenance cost as well. This makes for a very attractive addition to any construction job, but certainly in a mining project as well. Additionally, steel is sustainable. It's a sustainable building material, and it's 100% recyclable as well. So there's advantages going with steel as opposed to different construction. Now, we also have a product called insulated foam panels, for instance. We know it as IMP, of course. Insulated metal panels, they can be installed on the roof systems or they can be installed on the wall systems. You get fantastic efficiency out of these out of that product. So, and this is something that's been introduced to the pre-engineered building systems probably 10, 15 years ago, I would say. So it's been a great asset to the industry, and we see more and more buildings being used with that product as well. And of course, they've got a superior thermal properties and insulation factors as well. So you hit all the birds with one stone.
Yeah, and just to touch on, I'm a big believer in the sustainability side of things. We're also, Robertson's on the CISC, and I'm on the sustainability board. Again, we've all got kids. We want to make sure that, we're moving in the right direction. So green is important as well. So It's nice to be part of that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And not only that, it's a very quick, simple step installation process. So now we're really excited to talk about Electra Battery project up in Cobalt, Ontario. It's a fantastic project that we'd love to be able to share details about. It's a building that's owned by Electra Battery Materials. That's a company that is going into the electric battery business for the electric vehicles that's coming up. You and I know about that, and everybody else as well. So this is a building that has lots of different processes inside of it as well, very tight constraints. The company provides low carbon, sustainable, and traceable raw materials for the region's electrical vehicle industry. So Robertson was asked to design and deliver a large pre-engineered metal building for the use for this particular job site. Along with the construction partner Tesk Contracting, we were brought in to get the job done on time and on budget. There was little room for any error, absolutely, on this one. At sites like this, nothing comes together easily. It's a really tough environment, certainly up in Cobalt, Ontario as well, for any builder to or product supplier. As you can imagine, any new buildings need to be able to take a beating and stand the test of time. Not every company is up to that task, but I certainly think Robertson was. So to dig in a little bit deeper into this Cobalt camp, Robertson was able to quickly secure the contract based on its ability to quickly understand the scope of work as well. There was very tight constraints on the material layout and tried to wrap a building around that. Plus there was cranes in this building as well, several interior columns, and we had to make sure that nothing was in the way of the equipment that was going to be installed in this building. Not only that, but the building had to be erected at the same time when the equipment was going to be installed as well. So it's almost like producing a Swiss watch, if I can say. So the shell now houses 2 treatment trains along with several other key pieces of process equipment. So very interesting build. The multi-million-dollar Cobalt Camp refinery is slated to be commissioned in 2023. So that's this summer. Key takeaways throughout this entire session here, just to summarize it. So when dealing with projects, not just any project, but certainly mining projects, the key thing is to start planning early. The earlier it is, the better it is, and you have less chance for errors that way as well. And we leave no detail to chance that way. The other aspect is finding the right partner. We talked about that chain, right? Making sure that every link is nice and strong, and every link is part of that chain in order to make it a complete chain. Partners are extremely important. You need to be able to provide a partner that you can trust in. Apply future-focused thinking. what is this building going to be used for today? What is it going to be used for tomorrow, next year, right? So future-focused thinking is very important. Durability, absolutely paramount, certainly with temperatures up in minus 40 and going up to plus 30 temperatures, like you mentioned as well. So it's a very rugged region that we supply these buildings to. And the longevity, of course, and the cost efficiencies as well. We all know that energy costs are going up, heating the buildings are going up as well. Cost efficiencies should be included in part of that overall design process.
We've covered a lot today, but if you do have further questions into the mining industry, Robertson, or pre-engineered buildings in general, please reach out to us at robertsonbuildings.com. You'll be able to find our phone numbers, access to our district managers for your region, and we'll be able to support you in any questions that you may have. Thank you very much for taking the time to join John and I today and learning more about Robertson, the mining industry. And we really look forward to moving forward and helping existing and new builders get into this, and also end customers. If you're looking to get into the mining industry, please reach out. We're happy to support, and we can also help in regards to putting you in touch with the right builder for your project. And John, I'll let you.
Yeah, thank you as well, James. Thank you for your presentation, and thank you to everybody out there as well. This has just been really exciting for us in order to show a really small presentation on behalf of Robertson. I think we have a lot more to offer, and you'll find that as well when we do future projects with you. So again, a humble thanks.
Thank you.